Maybe already tuned.
It might be already tuned.
The car was meant to be stock.
Yeah, bad news and good news, yeah?
Bad news
is the car's definitely broken. Yeah?
Something wrong with it. Good news is, I was like,
Right, so in a recent video, I bought the cheapest A45 Amg in the country, right? And it appears to be quite a nice car, but on my journey back from buying it, it drives all right, but there's definitely a problem, right? And in this video, we're gonna, hopefully, fingers crossed, get that problem sorted for as little money as possible. And secondly, I want to get this car tuned. I do want to get this car tuned. We've had some bits done on it already, by the way, so it's looking a little bit better, but it is still broken. We're gonna get it fixed, get it tuned, go for a drive in it, and let it all unfold. Let's get on it. So for those that missed the previous video, this car has actually done, I think it's done 117,000 miles. So it was the cheapest one in the country, but then I suppose it should be because it's done pretty high mileage. But what a cool car, man. Like, I was driving around in this for a couple of days when we first bought it, and honestly, I've overlooked these cars. I absolutely love this car. So it's got the aero kit, which I mentioned in the previous video, which was a spec option from factory. I think that's really nice. It's got all these little features on the front end and on the rear as well. And the seats in this car, honestly, man, like, for a small car, it's got so many large characteristics. Look at the seats in this car, they just look so good. It's also got a pan roof, which I love, and since you last saw the car, we sent it to RRT in Luton to get the wheels refurbed, and I was going to get them diamond cut, right? And my little boy Kai, he plays Forza, and Kai actually, he loves this car. He's like, Dad, I didn't even know they do like a baby AMG. And he bought one on Forza. It had diamond cut wheels in this exact spec. He'd done it grey with the aero kit and stuff. He put the wheels on his car, changed them from diamond cut to black. And I looked at it and I was like, Kai, do you know what? I think that looks better with black wheels. He said, Dad, yeah, silver wheels just don't look as good. And I agreed with him. And I thought, do you know what? I need to get these wheels done in black. So we've had them painted black. By the way, if you want to be in for a chance of winning this car for free, you can do that at my website, planetdreams.co.uk. I will link it in the description below. But before we can give it away, we need to get this problem fixed. So I'm not going to tell you about what that problem is right now, because I need to hit the road, need to get to VRS, wheels waiting for me. Let's get in the car, get on the road, and then we'll begin to talk about what the problem is. That is it. This car's got so much character, like even the little turbo badges on the wings, there's little touches like that, and they're black as well, which I think is quite nice. Loads of little touches, and I don't know how I've overlooked these cars. We bought a black one on the channel a couple of years ago. That come from a subscriber, really nice car that was, but it didn't have the aero kit, which I think is a bit of a must with these cars. Ollie's one, that was a really nice car, massive spec, but like I say, that was Ollie's car, and yeah, Ollie's the guy, by the way, he's got RRT, refurbed the wheels. I will link them in the description below, but let's start the engine. Sounds so good. So it does say the service is overdue on the dash. It's got a front right malfunction. So basically it's got an airbag light on it, which we knew about when we bought it. And let's just get that steering wheel adjusted in the right place. It's a small cockpit, it's a very small car, but I think that's what I kind of like about these cars. They're a 4-wheel drive, they're a 2-litre turbo. I think they're 375 horsepower from factory. I suppose we'll find out in this video what power they are. We're also going to find out what power they are after a stage 1 remap. And yeah, they just offer a lot. And the seats, the seat belts, just all these little features, all these things that these cars offer, I just think they're quite a special little thing. So, and the fact that it's done 117,000 miles, it's worn pretty well in here as well. So we know that it's got a bit of wear on the centre armrest there. It's also got a bit of wear on the driver's door there, and there's a bit of wear, I think, is it on the seat? There was wear somewhere else. Can't remember where, but little red touches and stuff everywhere as well. So yeah, stack loads of character. So the problem, before we talk about the problem, I think the best way to describe the problem is do it when we're driving. So let's just get on the road, yeah? So in 2021, I done CCD the event 2021, right? And it was absolutely amazing. Then because of the outcome of that show, I decided to do CCD the event 2022. It was obvious to do it again, and it was even better. Wow, Kai, look how many people are here, man. I am mind blown, man. Thank you all so much for making an effort to come down today. This is amazing for me, man. I'm genuinely, I'm overwhelmed, man.
So the good news is we're going to be doing it all again in just a few weeks' time. The location we've done it before was in Findon in Northampton. We need a bigger location to do it now, so we're moving it to St Neots Rugby Club on Sunday the 2nd of July. We're going to have food, activity, stuff for kids, good family day out for everyone, and I'm going to be picking my personal favourite car of the day. The link is in the description below with all the details. Just a few weeks away. Looking forward to seeing you there. Do you know what? I haven't put any hashtag on it stickers on this car yet. That's so important. So I need to do that in this video as well. That is like the priority mod for every single car I own, but I ain't done it on this one yet. So if we put the car in sports mode, right? Yeah, it's all doing as it should. The downshifts, by the way. I just remember on my journey back the other day when I bought this car, I was loving it. So you can see right now, yeah, it's doing everything as it should. The car is warm. It's responding as it should. It's driving as it should. We've still got the airbag light on the dash, which is a minor. We've got no cars behind us. There goes the tray plate. It's doing everything perfectly, but when it gets warm, it's like the turbo just stops working. It's running out of boost, but it's not going into like a limp mode because the lights, no lights come on the dash or nothing like that. And I actually rang Ollie from RRT, who obviously had the his A45 Amg, and I explained the issue to him, and he said he had I think he said he had an issue with his charge cooler, and it was something along them lines. So I've mentioned it to VRS, to Will at VRS, and he said, Calvin, don't worry about it, just get it over to me and I'll have a look at it. So that needs sorting, the airbag light needs sorting, we need to get a set of number plates for it. I want to get it tuned, and is there anything else? Oh, service light. You're probably thinking, Calvin, you're annoyed, you've just bought this car and straight away it's got a problem. And like, no, I'm not annoyed, this is not a massive problem. I bought this car in the trade for cheap, below market value. I paid £12,700 for this car, which is a large amount of money, but it's cheap for an A45 AMG. I think the cheapest one in the country was like 15.5 grand from memory. So it's a mega cheap car. If it cost me £1,000, whatever it cost me to fix, it doesn't, do you know what? On that note, the boost is now restricted. It's just, look, it's really slow to wind up. It's just not reacting as it was a couple of minutes ago. So yeah, it's definitely something not right. I'm not too concerned. Worst case, it needs a turbo. That's probably worst case scenario, but I don't think it will need a turbo. Still sounds bloody good, but I think it's worth pointing out that I do not feel like, I don't feel any resentment towards the trader that sold it to me. He probably didn't even know. He would have probably maybe test drove it when he bought it, took it for a little drive down the road. It's all doing as it should, not making no horrible noises, no knocks and bangs. Gearbox is responding as it should. Even the flappy paddles there, look, you see them downshifts, they're beautiful, aren't they? Look how nice they are. Slow down, got no one behind me. Then going back up through the revs, it's just a bit sluggish now. So, which I know ain't normal. I know how quick these cars are on draggy times. So yeah, let's just get to VRS, let Will work it out. We'll probably have to fast forward a few days and then come back to hopefully a tuned car and a car that boosts correctly. All right, let's get to VRS. Right, so obviously I've arrived at VRS now, and Will just said, Calv, let's just jump out for a drive in this car, because I've noticed a couple of things which we've just spoke about. Yep. I said to you about it's a bit slow to respond when you pull away, so like now is a perfect scenario.
Pulling out of junctions, like now, it's like, oh,
yes.
Oh. So it's a bit disconcerting when you're pulling out of a roundabout, especially when there's a lorry.
It's,
okay. Oh my gosh.
like a learner driver, like,
like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the gearbox adaptions will help that, and then we can quicken up the clutch release with a gearbox tune,
okay,
and make it drive a bit nicer. Because the thing is, if you've been driving a Golf R or an S3, they do, the DSG boxing those are quite responsive on the Mark 7s and 7.5s, etc. And the Mercedes were always renowned for sort of having a slow responding gearbox. Everybody moaned about the box.
Okay.
So I think if we were to reset the adaptions so it releases the clutch at a quicker rate, and then tune the box, and then obviously the engine.
Yeah. So you can tune the engine, yeah?
Yeah. I think if we did a I mean, we'll do a health check on it, check the plugs and stuff. Hopefully, I mean, it seems fine.
Yeah.
To be fair, so we'll do that. Sorry, we'll do the health check, and then what we'll do, we'll tune it to a stage 1, and we'll tune the box as well. Then you get to drive it and then see the difference.
I'm excited to see what it's going to drive like.
Because we've got a boost issue as well.
Got a boost issue as well.
So these can, if people do repairs to them, they don't realise that there's a separate tank for the charge cooler. So they fill back up the coolant on the radiator, but they don't fill the charge cooler up.
Okay.
So if there's no water in the charge cooler, after one full acceleration, your inlet temp will be like 80 degrees.
Okay.
Then what happens is it will just, the engine ECU sees that, and the calibrations tells the engine then to pull all the boost out. So it can be, we've had cars in where they've been to like 2-3 garages and it needs a turbo and this, that and the other, and it just didn't have any water in the charge cooler.
Oh my god.
But if you don't know, you don't know.
You don't
It's
know,
just,
yeah.
The other thing that I've noticed is, I think you've said about it as well, the up switch, like the paddle, the up paddle, it's got no click feeling to it, so it feels a bit strange. Because we're in manual mode at the moment. So we'll take that apart and see if
just get it clicking better. It don't
sometimes it can be like if someone's had a drink in their hand and they've spilt it on it, it's got still sticky with like, you know, it's got like fizzy drink in there or coffee or something. So we'll take it apart and have a look at that. But like if I put my foot down now, it's like absolutely flat.
It is gutless, isn't it? It's torture. You're in this car that makes all this noise with this big wing on the back and these big fold seats, and it's like, it's just not doing nothing. It's like a 1.2 Corsa.
It's slower than that.
It's bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you do get that one chance, so you felt it boost earlier, didn't you?
So the first acceleration we did, it had some boost there, it felt stock, and then we got to, I think it was like 5,500, and then I felt it die off. So obviously, you know, I've not actually checked it.
No, I know.
We just wanted to drive it first, but I think it will be something like that.
So the plan from now is, I'm going to leave the car with you.
Yep.
You're going to, hopefully if all goes bad, sort out the boost issue, map the car.
Yep.
We can find out a previous, a pre-map VHP and then a post-map VHP, can't we?
Yeah, so what I'll do, I'll have a look at the boost issue, big sat. I'll tune the gearbox first anyway, then I'll dyno it, and then I'll dyno it with the engine tuned afterwards. Just pull over because we've got no power lead.
Yeah.
Just so that, you know, I don't want to run it. I'd rather just tune the box up because we can run it on the dyno properly then, and better. So then we'll do a pre engine ECU tune and then one afterwards. So.
Yeah, so you can see what power was running stock, see what power was running.
And then what we'll do as well on this, we'll do a service on the rear diff.
Okay.
So it has a Haldex on this, and it's really important that we take the pump out, drop the oil out, and make sure that that's not the oil's not burnt in it, especially if it's going to go on the dyno.
Yeah.
Because if it's got burnt oil in it or anything like that, as soon as you put it on the dyno, potentially kill the rear diff.
Really?
So we need to look at that first. And then just make sure that's okay.
Wicked, alright then.
So
I'm looking forward to
it. I'll put some fuel in it because I've got no fuel in it.
The lights just come on, isn't it? It's also got the airbag light, which you said you can sort out.
The airbag light as well. That's the guy said it's something to do with the driver's seat pre-tensioner. Yeah. So that should be fairly simple. It might not even be plugged in.
Hopefully it's something as simple as that. It's a nice car, isn't it? I know it's got its issues, which we're going to address. But
we're going to do the wheel alignment.
Wheel alignment's a bit off as well.
So it's only a tiny bit off, but the Mercedes, the ESP on the cars don't like it because obviously when the wheel's slightly left, it thinks you're always turning left. So the yaw sensor doesn't understand why there's no G-force if you turn left, etc. So it's just like the worst joke. I don't know why I've come to this.
In a car, but it's basically in limp mode.
Yeah. Nice one.
2 hours later.
Oh, there's a little bit of boost there, wasn't there?
And it's gone.
Right, so wicked. All right, I'll leave the car with you. I'm excited to see what it's like tuned because when this car works, when it's boosting right, it feels quick anyway. It's a quick car.
It may be already tuned.
It might be already tuned.
Yeah.
At this stage, we don't know, do we? So
it's happened before.
It'll be interesting to see. But either way, I'm looking forward to driving it at its full potential with a stage 1 tune because it's a wicked little car.
Yeah, it's a good car.
And,
what's your plans with this car?
This is getting given away on Planet Dreams.
Is it?
Yeah, no Planet Dreams car. Cool, so I'll leave it with you. I'll pop back in a few days' time. Obviously that'll be in this video, and then hopefully at that point the car will be running good.
This should be nice and simple.
And it'll be good.
just software and a little bit of fettling and stuff like that, a bit of oil and filters.
Alright, wicked.
Right, Will, we're back. Hold on, before we can talk about it, let's talk about this. Scirocco. Is that
Mark II Scirocco.
Customer's car?
car, yep. Came in for running fault. The carburettor is faulty, so it's got a Weber downdraft on this upgrade. So we're rebuilding the carb and repairing a couple of bits, and we're going to put it on the dyno, tune the carb, and that's it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's mad, isn't it? What a cool car, man. I used to love these cars back in the day.
It's a very nice one.
I remember a lad I knew when we was younger had one. But anyway, I just thought I'll just see it there. I thought I'd mention it. So we're a week or so on now
From the Merc when you dropped it, yeah. We test drove it.
Yeah,
Had a boost fault.
Yeah.
We thought it might be the charge cooler empty of water, because it's quite common that when people do work on them, they don't fill it back up underneath here.
Yeah.
I think it's part of this.
Okay.
But it wasn't that.
Oh, really?
No, it was full of water. So,
Dum dum dum.
so what I did was, we were talking about it, and we'd not even lifted the bonnet. When you were here, we just drove it and came back. Mm-hmm. And when you left, I think it was fairly late on in the day. The next morning, I pulled the car in, lifted the bonnet, and I was like, it must be stage 2 because it's got a downpipe on it.
So hold on.
The car was meant to be stock.
Yeah. Bad news and good news. Yeah.
Bad news.
Bad news is the car's definitely broken. Yeah.
Something wrong with it. Good news is, I was like, this is stage 2, or at least it's got a downpipe. So you were like, oh, that's cool. So then I said to Connor, I said, look, we need to take the turbo off.
Yeah.
So he set off taking the turbo off, and once we'd removed the airbox and all the front off the turbo, I seen there was a badge on the turbo for a German turbo company.
Okay.
So I was like, and I know they do stage 3 turbos for these. So I rang you and I was like, this is stage 3 car. And you were like, and then we found this part here.
Yeah.
Which was kind of a bit bodgy. It's like a meth, it's a meth jet, but there was nothing attached to it. So there's no meth on the car, but that was on the car, so which is like all cut up. So we've removed that and put a standard hose back on it, because there was only one meth jet, but obviously you're missing the whole kit, bottle and everything. The car had meth on it.
It's previously had meth.
Had meth on it, yeah. So I was like, so it's definitely been a stage 3 car. So basically, we took the turbo off, and, well, I didn't take it off. I felt the wastegate arm here was rattling around like it was falling to bits. So we took the turbo off. Turbo Technics have basically remachined the exhaust housing, put a bush in it, made a new arm because it was just so far gone, completely repaired it, put it back together. All the seals and bearings are as they were. We've not touched that because obviously that's custom to the German turbo company.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't be able, potentially, if we took it apart, we might not be able to put it back together.
Okay.
They won't sell the parts outside of the company. Therefore, the turbo would have to go back there, and then they'd want probably $2-3 grand to replace it.
Yeah.
So it was just, and it felt fine.
Not an option, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't an option. So put the turbo back on, did that. It's had a full gearbox service. So it's had all new oil and filter in the DSG box. It's had the rear diff service as well. It's had new plugs. It's had oil and filter on the engine as well. The air filter, when I took it out, was just basically all collapsed. It was an aftermarket. I can't remember what brand it was. So we've put a Pro Ram, Ram Air Pro Ram filter in, which is really good. So that's inside the airbox in there.
Yeah.
So that's all new. And we've replaced various clips on the actuator, and the actuator has all been set up. So it's had lots of work done.
Fair play.
So it's had the wheel alignment done as well.
Of course, because that needed doing.
Because the steering wheel's like that.
Yeah.
So didn't look like there was a reason for that. Maybe it's had work done and they've not. So it's all been basically checked on a Hunter foil alignment at Tyres Northampton. Did that for you.
Brilliant.
So it also. What else did we do? Oh, the upshift on the steering wheel.
The upshift and the paddle,
So you couldn't feel it click?
Yeah.
So we took it apart, and there's a little rubber bit inside with like a nipple on it. Said nipple. And it split round that, so when you press it, but you can't buy that bit, so we had to buy a second-hand flap off eBay. We got one off eBay. Put that on.
Wicked.
That's all as it should be now.
Nice.
So that was done as well. So it's all fully serviced and done. The gearbox wasn't tuned. and it must be really on these. It's better to, because they're much nicer when you change gears. So we've tuned the box.
Bloody
we've
hell.
used Jamie at EST for that, and we're tuning the engine with Jamie from EST as well. So we because of the mileage, we're shooting for massive numbers. So we're just trying to get a happy place where a customer can use 99 on fuel, no meth, no octane booster, and just run the car nice and safe.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Then if they buy it and they want to try and push it way further and fit meth, and that's all up to them then.
Yeah, well, obviously this is a Planet Dreams car anyway.
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's what I mean.
So
yeah,
whoever it ends up with,
yeah,
we've got to make it.
I would just, however we leave it, will be safe.
Yeah.
And that's where I would leave it and just enjoy it, because it will be a fast car.
Yeah, of course it will. What
And
sort of power? Yeah, and for free.
So a good stage 2 car will make like 420 to 440, depending.
Bloody hell.
So we'll probably do 440. We're only going to add between 10 and 20, maybe 30 horsepower on, because the turbo's not the big German company one, it's the smaller one, which is just slightly bigger.
Yeah.
So it'll only make a little bit more.
Okay.
But that's where we're going to try and shoot.
That's
for.
amazing. That's massive power. Because I didn't really thought the car was stock as well. I bought this car.
Yeah, I mean,
thought it was stock.
You thought it was stock. It was the cheapest one out there.
Cheapest one out there. Bought it in the trades. Had a little issue.
The body's really nice.
So it's a proper nice car.
I've seen 40,000 mile ones that are absolutely hammered compared to this, where people have just abused them, and this is actually quite a nice
It's
car.
nice, isn't it?
I think so anyway. I mean, I'm not a paint expert, but
no, it ain't a perfect,
but it's a nice colour. The gloss
black
black bits. They've got the gloss black wheels that RRT done.
RRT done the wheels. It's got the aero kit. It's bucket seats. It's just I think it's a proper cool car.
Yeah, it is. I think it's made a really good car, to be fair.
So the plan from now is, obviously I'm here today because I'm taking it to Wembley this weekend.
Churros.
Car event,
Car event, yeah.
So it's going on show there this weekend.
So you're going to take it now, and then we've just shown you another vehicle, possibly for Planet of Dreams.
Another Planet Dreams car, yeah.
But hopefully this one, if you buy it, you could just take it away and you haven't got to spend any money on it, which will be a first. And then what we're going to do, we're going to have it back after you've come back, and then we're just going to finish tweaking the map.
Okay.
Just to try and make it absolutely
perfect.
Pucker,
so yeah, I'll put back with it at some time. We'll post.
Yeah, we'll swap it with that other car potentially.
Yeah.
And then
be ready to give away.
We just want it for another day.
Yeah.
So
it's basically a stage 3 car.
Stage 3 car.
2+ or a low stage.
I mean a turbo, a hybrid turbo.
It's a hybrid turbo car.
So it's a mild stage 3 car potentially. So.
That is amazing. I am so pleased with this car. So off the back of this little problem, we've got a massive plus.
It's not that bad, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been a lot worse.
Could have been.
It could have been, because when you first came in, you thought the gearbox was knackered and all sorts. So the only other thing we want to do actually is the adaptions on the box, just to make it drive a bit nicer. It drives fine, just out of junctions, these are renowned for being very slow.
Yeah.
So, but I need a bit of kit just to do the adaptions, which I've got to borrow off somebody.
Okay.
But
I'll take it. I'll run around here for a bit, see how I get on
yeah.
with it, and I'll pop it back. And
but the gear change is a lot better now. You know when you go in.
Nice.
It's nowhere near as slow.
Ah,
so it's loads better.
Okay.
So
wicked.
But, yeah.
Wicked.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Right, so the A45 is now clean, it's in the unit, and it's ready to go off to Petrol Hedonism Underground in Wembley. I've got the Audi S3 parked next to it. I've given that a clean up as well. That's obviously another Planet of Dreams car, but by the time this video goes live, that'll be given away. I'm not sure at this point who the winner is, but I can potentially put the name of the winner on screen. If we do not have a name of the winner, it's because it's not yet been given away, and you can enter for free to win that car as well. I'll put a link in the description below, all right? So the A45, we've had Jay from Trimworks come out this morning and repair the seat. I may as well show you that. Another little job that needed doing. So the seat, the centre armrest and the door card is repaired them all. Mercedes leather isn't that great, so that's all been sorted now. It's a bit of wear and tear, it's expected, but that's all now sorted. The wheels have been refurbed, obviously, by RRT, which we've probably mentioned about 15 times in this video. We've got plates here. Shout out to Reg Plate King. They just posted us out some plates. I said, I've got a design idea, can you make them for me? And they were like, yeah. They sent them out. We've got some for the A45, some for the S3. We've got little plate holders as well. Anything else I want to say? The cost, the bill, the cost of the repair work on the A45. Currently, obviously, it needs to go back to VRS to get a retune, but it's running at about 400 brake horsepower at the minute. We'll find out a power figure, an exact power figure when we get it retuned. But the bill to get it all repaired to the condition that it's in today was £2,000, all right? We've obviously had the wheels done as well, bit of interior repairs, maybe a little bit more than that. I paid £12,700 for the car, a couple of grand, maybe a bit more than that in prep work, so it owes me about 15 grand, and it's a £16,000 car. So in fact, the S3 is similar value. The repair on that was in the region, I can't remember, was it 1,300 quid? And that's got a similar sort of retail value as well. So I'm really pleased with how Planet Dreams has gone. I think what we need to do is get the cameraman over there actually, because I want the cars behind me. Because they look wicked, I'm so pleased. And obviously they're going off to a car show now. This video has probably been a massively long video, filming over a matter of days sometimes, you don't know how much you film, but I am pleased with the outcome. Both cars look wonderful, A45 in particular. If you've not entered for your chance to win this car for nothing, I will link Planet Dreams in the description below. Go and enter for free, man, there's no catches. So many people say, oh, I've not entered yet. Like, I'm like, why? Just go and bloody enter. It's free to enter, completely free. If you're a subscriber to the channel, you're more than welcome to go and enter, all right? So I'll put some shots of these cars looking wonderful at the car show this weekend on screen now. Look at that. Look at that, that looks wonderful, doesn't it? Oh, look at all the attention these cars are getting, because they deserve it, I obviously haven't seen this weekend yet, but you lot would have done. All right, so guys, I'm gonna wrap it up and leave it at that. I will link VRS in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you like this video. Good luck on all the prizes and all the wonderful stuff at Planet Dreams. And I think that's it. Hit like if you like this video, hit subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.